Hey,
Ew, ew. Ooh, I like
welcome
that
back
sound. I like
in,
that sound.
everybody. Hopefully, you had a good weekend, safe weekend for those of you that had off after the Thanksgiving with the Friday and everything. Actually, this is the first year I ever got my Christmas decorations up this early
Ooh, there you go.
because not much to do but stay home. But a
True, true
lot of good
words.
sports on, a lot of football, college basketball, allegedly a fight, which we'll touch on that.
Yeah.
But happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for joining us again. Hit us up in the comments. Call us at the link. Tyler, how was your weekend?
It was good. Got to sit back, catch a lot of football. Didn't really catch that fight. We'll talk about what I did catch, but I'm actually kind of excited. We're going to kind of run through these pleasantries because we actually do have pretty big get for us as far as an
Yes,
interview goes. We'll get to that after we kind of exchange this here. But overall, solid weekend. Ronnie, how was your weekend?
it was good. Like I said, not a whole lot to do. We had just Thanksgiving here with just me and producer Tanai and the roommates. So just kept it low key. Nice
Nice.
to not have to travel. Did have to work on Friday, but people weren't really out and about Saturday as well. And that's pretty much it. We got the tree put up yesterday.
Nice.
I'll see if I can get a picture of that for you guys. But also tried out the fireplace here at the compound for the first time. It actually worked great.
Oh, did
So
it? Okay. Yeah. Nice.
looking forward to more fires in the fireplace. So that was really nice last night. But no, just keeping it low key. I mean, again, I think you can see what's happening in college sports. We're seeing the after effects of the Halloween spike. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a Thanksgiving spike, and I'm
Oh, yeah.
pretty certain there's going to be a Christmas spike as well. So
Mm-hmm.
please be safe out there. It's still a real thing, and it is a virus that certainly has mutated several times. So just keep it easy out there. But we'll get through it. But thank you guys for joining us. A couple comments real quick. We got Jaime blasting Black Moth Super Rainbow before showtime.
Going with that experimental electronic music there, I see.
And Nick chiming in, suck at mosquitoes, of course. You know where I stand on that. I'm the line is firm. Like I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
moving. Like
Oh
my
yeah.
stance on mosquitoes, I'm not walking it back. And then winner of the Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson fight is
Mhm.
the internet. Yes, and we will get into that. Were there any winners though? It's like war. Like there are no real winners, only losers. All the
Well, I
casualties.
mean, there was a winner.
Well, in that case, yes. But did I need to see it?
No,
Uh,
no.
I don't know.
But let's just get into this right now. Like I said, we got a really big guest here to just kind of talk about the NFL for a few minutes. We were able to reach out, pull some strings, transfer some funds.
This is big.
We're
Big.
actually able to get a hold of Hall of Fame Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis to talk about the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game with us a little bit.
I'm gonna. Oh, no! Now I got the
Okay,
same
wait. Oh
message.
no. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I've just been informed by the other guy that runs the Quarantine Network, Roger Goodell, that this interview is actually going to be pushed back a little bit. It's going to be pushed back to about midway through the show.
All right. So
No worries. No
we'll call
worries.
that about.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
We're efforting on Ray
Yeah.
shooting for like 8 p.m. But we do have a line on Ray and his people, so he's still going to try to make the call in here.
Yeah.
But anyone else, if you want to talk to Ray Lewis, hit the link.
That's right.
Around 8 p.m. we will have him on. But
Yeah.
let's take a look too at just some of the odds and ends over the weekend. Couple. All right, I don't want to start on like a dark note, but jeez,
Oh
if you
God.
saw the F1 crash,
Oh God.
Grosjean, first of all, the car split in half, and then
And
literally
blew up.
exploded into a fireball.
Yeah.
And he's okay. I mean, his actual comment that I saw today was, "I'm sort of okay," but he's alive. Thank God. If you see the crash, I can't play the video, copyright, whatever, but
Sure.
horrifying. Like, and like this tweet says, and I was telling Tyler, 10 years, 15 years ago, probably. Let's just be honest. He's probably dead.
Oh
Like
yeah, no doubt.
the way the car just blew up and got sawed in half, and then you see him like going over the guardrail, like out of the flames. That was just gut wrenching. Like that's insane. I every time one of these happens in F1, I'm just like, dude, just sit down for a while. Like you do not need to get back. Even getting in one of those cars, you already are kind of like, I'm riding the line of like cheating death every time I get in this car because it is literally like a fighter jet that drives on the ground. Like it is a 200-mile-an-hour carbon fiber beast that will just like flip over. I mean, they're all, like it's insane. So thank God he's okay. But that was just terrifying. Like watching a video of it, go back and look at it. It's not, now that you know he's okay, it's not as like, churning your stomach, but that was upsetting to see it as it happened.
Yeah, it was just insane. Like I didn't see it at the time. I kind of heard about it later due to another injury that we'll kind of get into in the soccer world. Somebody said first the F1 and then this happened. But yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely horrifying. Like as soon as that portion of the car hits the wall, it just bursts into flames. And there's like a good 5 or 10 seconds where, because obviously he's still got all his gear on, that's got him harnessed in to get out. Like he's got to unstrap all that. So all you see is just this giant flaming car. And then a few seconds later, you can see his body kind of pop out and walk away. And it's just like, how, like it's, I mean, you're not wrong that 10 years ago, there's no question he's dead. Like it's not, he's absolutely done for, but it's just absolutely amazing that he didn't get hurt worse than he did. It's horrifying to watch.
And that's, I mean, it literally is like the same thing as, if you go back in the 60s and 70s with the X-planes, like all these test pilots, like that moment of like no contact, and you're just like, dude, I don't know if he's getting up out of this car again. And you see him pop up over the guardrail. The whole thing's on fire. It was just insanity. He is recovering, but like I said, don't rush it back, my guy. Just chill out for a while.
I think he is done for the rest of the season, and I believe his contract with his team is actually up, so like he wouldn't have a method to drive anyways. But yeah, definitely, man, take some time off and get your wits about you if you even decide to step foot into one of those, like you said, grounded jets again.
They are insane. I mean, the number one rule of F1 is it's unlimited money. Like the amount of money spent on these cars, these races, these drivers, everything involved. They have giant teams. I mean, like a good NASCAR pit stop is what, 15 seconds? And F1, like a bad pit stop is like 6 seconds. Like the effort that goes into putting this product out there is insane. Like the coordination, the amount of people, safety things involved, thank God. But fortunately he is okay. So, but yeah, that was a little harrowing to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
A couple other ones. Well, actually, let's I don't know. I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on the fight, but I do want to hit some of the comments real quick, and then we'll get into the fight. Jaime's back. All right. Jaime, we see you in the tailgate. Thank you. And then Cease, well, we're getting some pushback from Goodell, so we're efforting on Ray. We're shooting for 8 at this point.
Yeah.
But we will keep you posted. But let's talk about the fight, the stunt fight, whatever you want to call it. It was a freak show. Was over, with some friends at a house, and once they found out I had the ability to cast it to the TV, everyone wanted to watch it. Again, there are ways. I didn't pay for it.
There are ways. There's always a way.
There are ways, but again, entertainment purposes only, strictly. Please believe that. So we had it on. We saw Nate Robinson fight. Jake Paul, shocker, a guy that's actually boxed against a professional before, pretty light work for him. And Nate
Yeah.
kind of went night-night. I know, whatever amateur boxing he did back in junior high, high school, whatever, he's obviously a good athlete, giving up a lot of height and reach in this fight. And he walked into a couple stunners, shall we say, and pretty much got wiped out.
Yeah.
And then that just teed us up for the main event. For some reason, that had to happen because 2020 that's what we get. So Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones Jr. for no apparent reason, good reason that I could find.
I can tell you why.
Well, I mean, that's the one reason.
Yes.
But ended in a draw. Shocking. Again, exhibition fight. I mean, heavier gloves, 2-minute rounds. The whole thing was a sideshow.
Not actually licensed judges, but instead former WBC champion boxers were the ones judging the fight.
But the absolute star of the entire program was Snoop Dogg, winning America's hearts with his commentary. This was in the first round. This shit is like two of my uncles fighting at a barbecue. And it seemed like every round, Snoop got off a pretty great snap, like at least one good, like hard-hitting one-liner in there. Oh, Grandma, they fighting again.
I love that he probably got paid really well, and even then he was just still kind of like taking the piss out of, like, he knows it's a shit show. He's just gonna call it that. Like, I love that. That's fucking great.
I've seen, and Snoop is obviously an LA guy, so I've seen him actually get on the mic as far as like just sit in with the play-by-play guys for a couple Laker games. I think a Kings game, I believe maybe even a soccer game at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always very Snoop Dogg, on brand, entertaining, and a big sports fan too. Let's not lie.
Oh yeah.
He watches a lot of sports, so he does, like, when it comes time to the actual analysis part, he can handle himself. But his commentary was amazing. It was the only redeeming thing about this sad freak show of an event. You have LeBron giving him some dap there. Simply the greatest at whatever he does. Swiss Army knife. I have to agree.
Sure.
He's a marketing genius, multi-platinum artist, just huge, just a brand unto himself.
Right.
Stephen A. Smith showing love. Best part of this fight, Snoop is doing fantastic. And they had side order of short ribs with Mike Tyson sauce on it for one of the many body shots there. And then, yes, stay down, Roy. He's like yelling at him. They fight like grown men. And that's what it was. It was two very grown, didn't need to see it. That's how old they were, guys, just sort of punching, but then clinching and like hugging it out. And it was like, what are you doing? Like, yes, get the money. I hope everyone's okay. But it was kind of sad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I couldn't get myself to watch it. I saw the replays of the Nate Robinson getting knocked out. And like I wasn't at all surprised that it was a draw. Like, I think as soon as they signed the contract for the fight, they handed the refs their scorecards and said it's going to be a draw.
That's pretty much a guarantee, yeah.
Especially because it's just an exhibition on the records. Who cares? I did find it funny. Like, a lot of people lost money on it, even though I think the Vegas odds were like minus 1,400 on a draw, which tells you Vegas knew ahead of time what it was going to be.
Right. Yeah.
So like, if you're betting on this exhibition fight that's obviously gimmicked to be a draw, like, sorry, you deserve to lose the money.
Well, any semi-initiated person, if you just read the rules, you're like, this is kind of like, yes, people
it's a
want
sparring
bet
session,
on it, but it's essentially like all bets are off. Like, this is an exhibition, right? Like, stay away. DraftKings, big sponsorship, also weed maps, which again sort of lets you know what kind of caliber of event we're dealing with here.
I love that.
But DraftKings had some kind of action. They were showing like round by round odds. I guess you could bet, on the app or whatever. But the whole thing was just, it wasn't as wholly embarrassing as I thought it could devolve into, but it was still pretty shameful. Like, it was just like, we don't need it. I don't need to see it. And yet here it is.
There it is. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll say this. From everything I've read, like Snoop's commentating sounds amazingly entertaining. If you watched it and you were entertained by it, I'm happy for you. Like, it's just I couldn't get myself to watch it. I've been hurt by boxing and by some crazy looking at you Bellator MMA shit show stunts like this. Like I've been hurt by it too many times, so I couldn't get myself to watch it. The big thing I'm worried about now is like, because from everything I heard, it was basically Mike Tyson beating up Jones's body and then Jones clinching to break it up. That was pretty much the whole fight.
Right.
And now I'm just worried, like, please, Tyson, don't try to come back. I remember your last few fights when you were like actually like boxing full time and it wasn't good.
Fighting in an actual fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I really hope we don't get a Tyson comeback tour again. But I'm like, it's boxing, so I'm totally worried that's exactly what we're going to get.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we all know about the financial trials and tribulations of Mike Tyson. Definitely not surrounded by the best people. Don King. Early on, took advantage of him when he's very young and, mentally kind of all over the place. He seems
to call his buddy
to have calmed down quite a bit since then.
Yeah.
But we don't need to see it again. I mean, they're probably going to try to get it together. I'm sure they're going to throw more money at these guys. And I just hope we don't see it. It was just, we don't need it.
Look, good on them for getting a nice payday. Like, I won't knock somebody for getting a payday like that.
No, get your money. But
I'm just so worried. Like, I just got the weirdest feeling we're going to get a Tyson comeback attempt and it's not going to be good.
I hope not. But yeah, that's kind of where it's at right now. A couple comments on that. Tyson's mind was willing to kill Jones, but his body just gave out. And yes, it was two old guys, just sort of like at the end, everyone was tired. Even Mike Tyson wasn't really taking any kind of damage, and he was tired. Like, we just don't need to see it. And then Cease. Snoop knows his uncles. Well,
he does. He knows him well.
Yeah. Holyfield versus Tyson, winner gets a whole ear.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, I mean, don't tempt fate. That might seal the deal.
True.
And Cease also piling on Tyson versus Holyfield, and I'm all in. Oh, God, please don't. For the love of God, please don't.
Hang on a second, Ronnie. Hang on. I'm getting something.
Yeah, we're 4 minutes out from Ray.
Seriously? Okay. We just got contacted by Roger Goodell's people again. I guess we're pushing this back to the end of the show. We're gonna. Okay.
Yeah, we'll clear
Roger,
like 10 minutes.
Roger Goodell's moving this back again. So we'll get Ray Lewis interview about 8:20. Towards the end of the show here.
Yeah,
this is getting kind of annoying.
We'll try to block that off. Yeah, I don't know, but we're just kind of going by the seat of our pants here. We're trying to make this happen. Unfortunately, it keeps getting pushed back, but we'll see. We'll play it by ear. Let's take a look at the football. Something with
let's get into football here. Yeah.
Let's start in the college ranks. Tyler, as our college football insider expert, I will allow you to set this up. What were you looking at this weekend? We know about Cyber Saban and the Iron Bowl. Anticlimax there. I mean, not surprised at the outcome. Maybe the differential in points, but anyway.
Maybe, yeah. Well, I got to say Saturday was good. In the morning I kind of I kind of felt in the mood, so I broke out, my old NCAA football 07, pop that in, start playing the race to the Heisman mode. I was really into the mood, to kind of relive those games there. And it was pretty incredible, man. I took my running back. I decided to go with like a mid-major approach, build the guy up, kind of the Cinderella story.
Right.
Absolutely destroyed it, man. My running back, I had over 400 yards. I had 8 touchdowns, just absolutely destroyed the team. And then I realized I wasn't playing my PlayStation game. I was actually watching the Buffalo-Kent State game Saturday morning.
Woo! One for the ages.
Where Jarrett Patterson just absolutely destroyed Kent State, who was undefeated going into that game, mind you.
And I love the fact, actually, Nick, we've seen a couple of the comments from Nick here earlier. I texted him He got that 65-yard touchdown where he just beasted through. And that was the number 8.
Yeah.
My first thought was, well, it's a good thing he got number 8 on a 65-yard gain because otherwise you're just chilling 340 yards, 7 touchdowns.
What a
That's
bum.
light work. I mean, anyone could do
Yeah,
that.
seriously.
Whatever. I'd fall out of bed with 250 yards. So, wow. 409 yards.
God almighty.
Woo!
Yeah, that was just like, here's kind of the funny thing that I thought about after the game. I looked it up was their second string running back, Kevin Marks, had 16 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, and nobody gives a shit.
Nobody even cares.
That's
Gotta
500
feel for
plus
that guy.
500 rushing yards against one team. That's just absolutely insane. That was in his last 2 games, he's had over 700 yards and 12 touchdowns.
Oh, Buffalo's been racking them up. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they got like 3 or 4 guys. I mean, obviously he's the bell cow here, but I mean, they are just pounding the rock right now. Insane amount of rushing yards. As you know, we love them action. Unfortunately, been relegated to actual Saturday college football. Boring, I know. But they are just running over fools and 8 rushing touchdowns. I heard that actually on like a little update when I was at work on Saturday, listening to Sirius FC, listening to some of the Premier League games, but they did like a top of the hour update. I was like, what? 8 touchdowns? Tying the NCAA record.
See, this is why when I first got into college fantasy football, like my goal was always like, okay, like find the best guy in the mid-major conference. Because like, like the running back for Bama that rushes for 1,200 yards, he's going to, he'll be drafted. But like you always get the MAC quarterback that throws for 6,000 yards or the running back from some mid-major that runs for 2,000. Like that's where you look at. Don't look at the big schools. Look at the mid-majors.
Run all over guys that aren't as good as tackling. Like just blow them out.
Yep. But that was kind of some of the big news. But in some of the games we said, you mentioned Alabama just absolutely cruising over Auburn. Like you, I thought they were going to win. I figured missing Saban wouldn't hurt them that much. They actually did even better than I thought they would. It was a no contest from the get-go.
And we still hold out hope, though, at some point that Cyber Saban will actually arrive. That's what all the fans want. I mean, what's happening?
I don't know. But so in other news
here.
Oh no, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? No, no.
It's coming back a little.
How about
it? What about now?
Yeah?
That's better.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. But in some of the other news from college over the weekend, Oregon State beating Oregon in the Civil War. The Pac-12 cannot help but cannibalize itself every year. Oh, boy. Yeah, it didn't get to catch a ton of the game, but that's the Pac-12 really just can't help themselves every year. It's like you find the one team, they're like, oh yeah, they're going to do it. They're going to go undefeated and make it to the championship, and then they lose to some team they should just absolutely destroy.
Yeah, no, it ain't going to happen. USC still clinging to that playoff hope.
They're also trying to get games going because they have a little bit of a COVID situation there.
Yeah, a little bit of a situation as you're seeing all across college football. And actually that brings us over to the next point, which is allegedly, and we don't know, I mean, this is like sources on sources, but Big Ten getting hit again. Tyler and I both heard this on Dan Patrick's show this morning. Ohio State, Minnesota, I believe. That game is now going to be canceled.
Ohio State, Michigan State.
Michigan State, okay.
But the Minnesota Northwestern game may also be canceled.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So Ohio State, if they miss this game, they are going to be out of the conference championship. So they are desperate to get the game in, even if they don't have any of their top players to play. But this is a weird situation that you're just going to keep seeing happen, especially with the two conferences that started late. So
Yeah, it's a really rough situation for them because, like, look, I'm a Michigan fan. I can't stand the school. I also will not fool myself in thinking they are not one of the top three teams in the country. But if they miss 3 or 4 games, including their conference championship, which they'd be eligible for, could you put them in the playoff when they've only played like 4 games? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they probably should be there talent wise. I won't argue that. But it's such a weird, screwy situation. And honestly, like, while I was actually going to suggest, if this news didn't happen, that being that Michigan season is completely screwed, that they just wait till Thursday before they play Ohio and be like, oh, we just had a bunch of tests. I don't know what to do.
What are you gonna do? Just ultimately stick it to them. I mean, that might be Harbaugh's first win ever over Ohio State.
That'd be the best way you could do it. But yeah, it's Northwestern. They've played the appropriate number of games, so they've actually already clinched a spot in the Big Ten championship. Even if they miss this week and next week, they have enough games and enough wins, all that. But yeah, it's looking pretty rough for Ohio here. They're, like you said, they're going to be desperate to just put anything together they can just so they can make that claim into the playoff. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
And yeah, the whole situation in college football, it just gets more and more complicated. It's just so many people involved,
And so many different rules too.
So many different rules between conferences. People are still getting coronavirus. Make no mistake about that. So if you're talking about moving these large groups of people around the country, or even staying in their conference, you still got to get on a plane, you still got to stay in a hotel, whatever. People are going to get it. And it's just going to get weirder and weirder. I mean, Saban's kind of had this little bout with it twice now. I don't know if the first one was false positive, whatever. He was cleared. He was on the sideline for that first one. Then obviously had to sit this one out with the positive test. But outside of the SEC, I don't know. It seems like the SEC, whatever they need to make happen, it happens magically.
Weird.
We're cleared. We're ready to go. We got 2 teams in the play. Whatever's going to happen. But beyond that, I mean, especially with the 2 other, Power Fives, Big Ten, Pac-12, can you even take a team out of there and put them in the playoff? Like you said, Ohio State, talent-wise, yes, should be in. But then, what kind of resume are they even going to have by the time that comes around? Right. Even if they can get in the conference championship game, cool, you guys won 7 games. Okay, I don't know. The whole situation is so weird.
Yeah, just another couple notes I'll say here in regards to college for this past weekend. Did want to say, big thoughts out to the Indiana quarterback Michael Penix Jr., who has looked great this season, but unfortunately, even though Indiana did beat Maryland this weekend, he is going to be out for the year with a torn ACL. Kind of got messed up running out of bounds on a play during the game. So, big ups to him. He's definitely kind of balled out this year, and hopefully he can recover and bounce back from this.
Yeah, as far as the uplifting stories, if you will, out of the Big Ten, it's pretty much been Indiana and Northwestern. It's sort of just hey, look at these guys. They're doing it the right way. They haven't. I mean, the COVID thing is still going to hit everyone at some point in some capacity.
Right.
But it just sucks for a guy that's really been balling out. The Indiana team as a whole, you've already put it out there. They play hard. I mean, they've looked good. Even against Ohio State, they totally smashed that stupid 21-point spread. So, it sucks for them to lose, their top guy. But hopefully he is back on the field sooner than later.
Yeah. I think that was pretty. Oh, also got to give a shout out to Sarah Fuller, of course, becoming the first female player to play in a Power 5 game. She did the kicking for Vanderbilt this weekend, so a big shout out to her.
Yes, and shout out to Vandy. I believe it's still winless, but
they are winless. In fact, I believe they fired their coach on Sunday. I'm not sure about that.
Hate to see it, but also
it's gonna happen.
Could have seen it coming.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
They
professionals now.
got their stuff. They got their stuff together.
Oh yeah.
As far as COVID, they got it all together.
Top flight organization, everything. Yeah. Well-oiled machine, no problem at all whatsoever.
Definitely.
as we are still approximately, let's say, like 7 to 15 minutes out from Ray Lewis, hopefully joining the program here.
Yep.
We take the banner off the screen so we can get the bottom one in there. But, the Raiders. Let's start with the Raiders. And I'm done with the Raiders.
There we go. That's it. All right. We're good. That's the Raiders minute, folks.
Disgusting. Five turnovers.
Ooh.
Look, everyone feels good. Beat the Chiefs once. Played them tough on the second game.
Yeah.
Probably this is a team that's going to win the Super Bowl. So, again, no moral victories, but, something to hang your hat on, and then just go to Atlanta and lay an egg. And, well, you'd just be like, oh, well, I mean, they got Julio Jones. No, he didn't even play in this game.
Julio didn't play. Gurley didn't play. And he still got smoked by Atlanta. So that's
pretty sure the Raiders
tough look.
Might have just played themselves out of the playoffs with that one.
They are currently not in a playoff spot. That is a fact.
Well, I mean, they're on the bubble, whatever, in the hunt. But this was a game that you need to be winning.
Yeah.
And certainly not losing 43-6. So,
man.
Damn it. All right. Good job, guys. Now let's deflect the rage over to the Charger fan so you can go in on that one.
Yeah, the Chargers, man. I was texting Ronnie and a few other people over the weekend. What Anthony Lynn did throughout this game, as far as his coaching decisions, I would not expect a guy making his head coaching debut at the Frost Soft level to do. If you didn't see the end of the game, Chargers down by 10, fourth in a golf course, about midfield. They throw a deep ball, Hail Mary. Guess what? Buffalo gives up a Hail Mary. Surprise, surprise. They might want to work on that. So now the Chargers have the ball in the 5-yard line. No timeouts left. About 20 seconds. Remember, no timeouts. So you figure, what are you going to do? Spike the ball, kick the field goal, go for the onside kick? That makes sense, right? No, they do a run play straight up the middle of the field, which the Chargers haven't been able to run. And it doesn't work. So then they lose a bunch of time. They clock the ball with about 4 seconds left. Anthony Lynn then sends the field goal unit out there and then calls them back, sends the offense back out there. And, I mean, just, again, I would not expect a rookie coach to make these kinds of mistakes. And this is a guy that's coached in the NFL for 20 freaking years. And even worse afterwards in the post-game press conference where he would, all he said was there was miscommunication. I'm not going to say anything more about it. You kind of have to explain that.
Yeah, I think people want to hear more about that. Like, what was going through the thought that popped into your head?
Exactly.
Computer school.
Come on now, Boogie. And then people asked him about some other clock management stuff he did throughout the game. Like at the end of the first half, the Chargers could have gotten the ball back. They forced a fourth down. Time was winding. Buffalo was letting the clock run out, and he waited about 18 seconds to call a timeout to get the ball back. And a reporter asked about that. And he just kind of stared at the reporter and goes, "I don't understand what you're saying," which.
Honestly, that could be true though, because he did not understand what was going on in the game in front of him. So
that's fair.
He could have been confused by that question.
So yeah, just an absolutely horrific performance. I mean, Anthony Lynn I've already said he needs to go. This was just absolutely unforgivable. Like there's no way a coach with half a year experience makes this mistake, let alone 20 years of NFL experience.
Pretty, yeah. Just tough all the way around. Shout out to Cole Beasley, Dirty White Boy, throwing a
Dirty White Boy. True, that's true.
I did enjoy that. I mean, not even at the expense of your Chargers. It's just like
no, I know what you mean.
Hey, Beasley.
Look, I like
been a
Beasley.
PPR god for me this
that's
year
true.
too, with those underneath routes.
That's true.
Dirty White Boy in the slot.
Hey, no slot. No slot shaming here. That's for sure.
Yes. # no slot shaming. Let's go into the next game on the slate here. The Giants move into first place.
The NFC East leading Giants.
Win over the very depleted Cincinnati Bengals. First place, and it looks like they're going to hang on to it because the Eagles are I think it's like 2 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, they're down by, I think, 11 with a couple minutes left, so yeah.
So big win for the Giants. Hey, the Giants, and when we get to the 49ers part, yes, I mean the 49ers won too, but we said this on Friday. Like, I didn't say it about the Giants, but I felt like they've actually not mailed it in. Like, they're actually still trying to win games.
Yeah, that's
And
fair.
the same thing about the 49ers. Like, very depleted. All their best guys are hurt or perpetually hurt, or they come back, then they're hurt again. But you can tell, like, if you watch these games, just think of your own, whatever your favorite team is. And we've all been there in times where you're like, all right, clearly they've just given up. Like, no one's playing for each other. They're not playing for the coach. They're tanking even. Who knows?
Yeah.
Haven't felt that way about the Giants and haven't felt that way about the 49ers. So credit to them. Tennessee and Indianapolis. This was the Derrick Henry show for sure.
Oh, boy, was it.
And similar to last year, I mean, this is like actually, I think Hansen had a pretty great quote on Red Zone where he was saying, like, this is the time of the year when you own Henry in fantasy, he feasts, because we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, and even guys trying to tackle him sometimes have to make business decisions. Like, do I want that smoke? This guy looks big and he's fat. And then he's just like seems to like never get tired.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of the old school, just like, I'm going to run straight ahead. I'm going to run through you. Maybe you'll tackle me in the first quarter, but by the third and fourth quarter, you're not going to want to do it anymore. Derrick Henry, 27 carries, 178 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just, not even just as a fantasy owner of him, but I just love that old school smash mouth style, and Derrick Henry absolutely is that. Just gets stronger as the game goes along, and the defense, just like you said, they don't want to do it anymore. It's, make that business decision. Do I want to get hurt and maybe tackle him, or like just kind of just like throw the arms out there and try to arm tackle him? But Derrick Henry, absolute beast.
Watching him, I mean, it always takes me back to the classic Marshawn quote. Just run through somebody's face over and over and over again. Pretty soon they don't want to do it anymore. Like, they just not a lot of people can't take that. And that's what Derrick Henry does every time he gets the ball. Like, usually gets it, more cooking in the second half. In this game, he blew up in the first half. But, you, like Hansen said, like, it's kind of a business. Like, do I want to get in the way of this truck right now? Like, like we saw what he did to Josh Norman, who, R.I.P. I mean, he's still out there somewhere in the
in the shadow realm.
Yeah, in the shadow realm, or the low Earth orbit. I don't know, but he's a grown man. And then you see, this was another great tweet tying back to the fight. Colts defense after playing Derrick Henry, just turning into sad old Roy Jones Jr.
Oh boy,
Roy Jones Jr. Senior. But going back to the football, we had Carolina at Minnesota. Minnesota does pull out the win, just sort of, keeping hope alive there. Honestly, the coolest thing about this game, though, was Jeremy Chin. 2 straight plays, strip sack and score.
That's right.
Strips them, scores a touchdown. They kick off. Very next play, same thing. It was awesome.
Yeah, definitely the best thing about the game. I thought, although the ending was a little bit crazy, but good on the Vikings for kind of keeping pace. But shout out to Jeremy Chin. I mean, that's obviously, you see, first time in 30 years. That's not something you see happen every day. So big shout out to him.
That's rare, even in like high level college football. So in the NFL, forget about it. That is just like almost like winning the lottery if you can end up like scooping and scoring on 2 straight plays as a defensive player. Let's bring back the schedule here. So we had Arizona losing to New England. That's a big one for them.
Tough luck there.
Yeah, Arizona still hanging around in that NFC West, but New England, pretty much out of it. But in New England, they got it done, and just Cardinals just didn't ever really look like they were in the game. Like, they just kind of, I don't know what it was. Like, I don't know if they schemed up against Murray or whatever, but it never really seemed like a threat of them winning the game.
No, you're right. That's definitely the case where the score is a lot closer than the game was, because I mean, and it was kind of back and forth for a while. New England obviously get the final winning blows in, but yeah, you're right. Arizona just never got going throughout the
It
whole
just
game.
seemed flat.
Yeah,
And then my Jets.
big
Miami.
Ronnie's game of the week here.
My game of the week. Miami goes in, takes care of business. Just Adam Gase. What do you do with Adam Gase? After the game, this is like one of the most bizarre things. Just compounding, just adding on to the list of like, does anyone want this guy? Like, do we need him around? Can we get anyone else, like interim coach? Someone.
They
I
can
already
have
threw it
Anthony
out.
Lynn. They can have Anthony Lynn.
Vinny Testaverde, bring him back. Like a legacy hire. Get the fans excited for a year or two, whatever. But then after the game, I mean, they sucked. They scored 3 points. All right, keep doing what you're doing, Jets. But, I mean, especially for me. But Adam Gase was asked if he took over play calling duties and sort of like talked his way into a lie that no one cares about, but then tried to cover it up. It's just like, just listen to Adam Gase.
I didn't take over. We did this. We've done the same thing the last 4 games.
We were watching Dowell through the whole game. He wasn't doing anything. I mean, he was just standing there.
He tells me it's not hard. This is not hard. We go through it the drive before. Hey, these are the 3 plays. I do the third downs.
So what happens after the 3 plays when you have a series? Because we were watching one where Dow was talking to Frank Pollock. He wasn't calling the plays. You were.
What part of the game was it?
I want to say that was the third quarter.
Yeah, when we got down, then I was trying to do some of the 2-minute stuff.
Oh,
Dude,
my God.
What is this guy's deal? Like, he contributes nothing to anything.
You know what a great answer would have been, though, is that after they said, well, what do you do after 3 plays? He could have just said punt. Like that. That would have been a good answer, I think.
I love that. You gotta love the New York media. Maybe not if you're a coach or player there, but
Sure.
they're just like, we watched him the whole game. He wasn't doing anything. He was talking to this guy when you were calling the play. He's like, oh, well, then, yeah, I was doing the 2-minute offense. I was trying, like, oh my God, dude, just stop talking.
It's to the point you said, like, he talked himself into a lie that nobody cares if he would have just given the honest answer.
You didn't even have to go down that rabbit hole. And now you just look like more of a jerk. Wow. But, hey, Adam Gase, whatever's working, keep that formula going. As you know, I got $34 on the line, and I am waiting to cash in. So 5 more, baby. 5 more.
Ronnie, are you getting something in your ear right now?
Oh, dude. Wait. God damn it.
Wait. Seriously? We've just been told that the Ray Lewis interview has been once again pushed back by Roger Goodell. He's pushing back to Thursday. We don't have a show Thursday.
Well, it's going to be Thursday. I believe at 11 a.m. on Thursday.
Roger Goodell pushing things back. That's not like him at all.
That's what we're dealing with. I guess that's.
Sorry, folks. We're sorry. This is getting pushed back again. I don't know what Roger Goodell's deal is, but sorry. Let's move on with the scores. Let's just move on.
I just wanted to talk to Ray.
Seriously,
one of the all-time greats. Cleveland getting another win again.
Winning
I
record.
warned you on Friday. They always seem to just settle to the level of the competition. I'm still not convinced, but hey, 8-3. Shout out to Josh, aka Dale.
all right, Dale. No.
Your boy's getting it done. This was a bizarre one. New Orleans at Denver.
Oh,
Every single quarterback on the Denver roster was wiped out on the COVID list or, just by contact. They started a undrafted wide receiver at quarterback, and he looked exactly like an undrafted wide receiver, running around for his life. Kind of surprised they let him throw as much as he did.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm not going to lie, I was happy for him when he got to 1 for 9. He finally got his first NFL completion. But and then, just compounding how weird it was. Again, Breeze isn't there, so we got Taysom Hill playing quarterback for the Saints. Didn't exactly look as confusing as it did last week for the other team. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out as far as like, all right, now we kind of got to look at what this guy looks like when he is actually under center for an entire game. that could get a little more complicated for the Saints. But the Broncos, I mean,
I want to say this. Whenever you hear somebody say, like, oh, I could do that, I could play quarterback, point them to this Denver game. Because this guy used to play quarterback.
And
Still
a world-class athlete.
He's an NFL caliber player, went back to quarterback, and did as bad as you would have thought. So whenever your friend that's like 60 pounds overweight says, oh, I could go out there and do that. No, you couldn't. You really couldn't.
I guarantee that you could not. No.
You would get killed at whatever
this
you
guy
try.
Is in better shape than anyone you know, even when they were like 16, like in your whatever physical prime. And it ain't so easy. You're running around back there.
It's not you couldn't do it. Just no, you couldn't.
Again, as we talked about earlier, the 49ers throwing the NFC West into a little bit of a tailspin. It looks like Seattle's going to win right now. But, hey, credit to them. Like I said, the one thing I will say about the 49ers is I have not seen them give up at all this season. I mean, they're very undermanned. All your best players are hurt. It is what it is. They're still out there playing. So I'm going to tip my cap to them. Kansas City at Tampa Bay, the hype matchup of the week. Chiefs just by the time it was like, it felt like 5 minutes into the game. Like I had on red zone, it was 17-0.
And like, Tyreek Hill had 200 yards.
Tyreek Hill, 200 yards in the first quarter. I was like, what? Maybe not man coverage, all right, or maybe just double team him, like make them throw it to anyone else.
To literally anybody else.
Apparently, no. They were just going to roll with that. Todd Bowles was cool. Just man up, Raiders style. We got the guys, and obviously we see how that worked out. I was telling Tyler the funniest thing I heard on Dan Patrick today was that he said maybe they were just trying to get him tired from racking up so many yards. I mean, it's a long way to run.
Oh, yeah.
So, we went to go get the Christmas tree during the second half. By the time the game was back on where I could see it, 27-24. Hey, all right. But I never really had any doubts about the Chiefs in this game and took care of business. I still kind of – look, I hate the Chiefs. I'm a Raider fan. But
sure.
Of all the teams that are like the hype teams, the Packers, everyone's fascinated with the Buccaneers because Tom Brady, the Saints, like what are they going to do? The Seahawks. The Chiefs are still clearly the best team. Like I don't see any – like if anything, they got better in the offseason. And they just won the Super Bowl. So I don't know. Put some respect on their name, but I think they're going to be there at the end and probably win the whole thing.
Yeah, that game wasn't nearly as close as the score says. Like if you look at like some of the late drives by Tampa had a lot of just kind of like mysterious flags thrown on the Chiefs that allowed Tampa to keep drives going to get closer. If you watched it, at no point in time I think Tampa was really going to win it. Like even when it got down to 3 points, it was just Chiefs dominance. And like you said, Roddy, they're the team that has looked good all year. Like even in their loss, like they still played well. You're always afraid they're going to make that late comeback. They're definitely just like, I know Pittsburgh's undefeated right now, but like right now, if they played, I would put my money on Chiefs.
I'm going Chiefs all the way.
Yeah.
People are aware of them. The record is out there. Just as far as like everything you see on the hot take shows, Sports Center, whatever, I'm just kind of like, just not going to talk about the Chiefs. Like they haven't really had a problem. Like for some reason, the Raiders play them tough. But beyond that, it's like, they're just doing what they're going to do, and they seem fine.
And then Sunday night game, Packers just went out and dominated the Bears. I'll say this.
The return of Trubisky.
This was the showing that, on Friday we talked about the Packers haven't had that really good showing this year. This was it. Say what you will. The Bears are now 5-6. But the Packers did look good in the game. I think this was
just
by
whoop
far
up on a team that you're supposed to beat. Like we've been looking for this game from the Ravens all season, hasn't happened. But Packers, low key an impressive win just because it's like you should win and you should win convincingly, and they did. Trubisky back there running around. I mean, I was he's back. He sat out, but he's coming back. He's more focused. He's improved. No, he's the same dude. Same dude.
Yeah. And just in other NFL news, the game that we were supposed to have Tuesday Night Football tomorrow, but the Ravens and Steelers game has been pushed back yet another day to Wednesday. Kickoff will be at 12:40 Pacific time.
Yes.
The NFL, Ronnie, if you have the tweet queued up, you can pull it up. The NFL wanted to get primetime Wednesday, and NBC said, "Fuck you! We are showing the lighting of the tree at 30 Rock.
30 Rock, baby.
You're gonna play in the afternoon." I think it's hilarious that somebody stands up to the NFL and says, "Fuck off." B, I mean, we talked about it earlier with Denver, how they still had to play even though they lost all their quarterbacks. And yet Baltimore is getting their game pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. I don't know I don't know what's going on with it. It's pretty shitty, I think, on the NFL's part. Because now this is pushing games back next week too. Pittsburgh's going to play on Monday next week, and Baltimore's going to play on Tuesday now next week.
And don't forget, this was supposed to be our showpiece third game of Thanksgiving.
A week ago.
We are a week out from that. But NFL obviously making it up as they go along. You see, we got boxed out on Ray Lewis.
Right?
It's very frustrating. A couple comments before we wrap it up here.
Yep.
The Baron got to beat the Jets next week. Woo, boy! If the Raiders lose to the Jets next week,
they will cost you. They will not only lose to the worst team, but they will cost you money.
That is going to be the most savage punch directly to my crotch in all aspects. My bet and the Raiders just completely crapping themselves out of the playoffs. Don't be the one, Raiders. Do not be the one. Especially, don't be the one, maybe possibly the only team to beat the Chiefs and the only team to lose to the Jets.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing.
I might, somebody have to call me. Just make sure I'm okay, because I might be on suicide watch at that.
I'm going to be checking on you next weekend, Ronnie.
Just a check-in. Just check in.
Yeah.
Woo! I don't even want to think about it. Every team in the NFC East ends with the same record to determine a winner. Every team's starting quarterback will compete in a 100-yard dash. Danny Dimes gets a 10-yard head start.
He'll fall 70 yards into it, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll just fall on his own.
Yeah, he could just maybe not even that far. I don't look. He's not the slowest quarterback, but not graceful in the open field like a gazelle.
No.
Shall we say? And Derrick Henry making death threats on the line before the snap. I think just his presence is kind of like you got to question, do I want it that bad? Am I going to get in front of this right now?
Are you willing to die on this play?
Ray, we had so many questions for you, Ray. Well, we'll talk to you on Thursday, Ray. Hologram of Weeb, Eubank could make a bigger impact for the Jets. Honestly, anyone. I think you would get a huge impact just by not having Adam Gase in the building. That would show some sort of good faith to the fans.
Just him being there is an automatic negative.
It just there's nothing inspiring about this guy. Everything is just a travesty with him. I can't even believe it. And then Jaime echoing our sentiments. Damn you, Goodell. I agree. Boxing us out. We don't even know if the Ravens game's going to be played before January at this point. I don't know. We'll just, we'll see what happens. But, that's pretty much where we're at with that.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here. We're running over time. Ronnie, any last thing you want to say?
No, thank you guys. Like I said, just be safe because, college is all dealing with it. I mean, just sort of the numbers everywhere. The Halloween spike, probably going to get a little Thanksgiving spike for those people that did kind of travel or, step outside of maybe doing a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows when we get to Christmas, but just be safe out there. We'll get back with you guys on Wednesday. I don't know how we're going to air the Ray Lewis interview, the showpiece interview for our entire show history on Thursday because we don't have a show. We'll see. But thank you guys, as always, for commenting. Hit us up at the link. Call in anytime. We love hearing from you guys. So thank you, and be well. Tyler, what do you got?
Stick around here on the network. We got Book Club for TV. Patrice coming up. Patrice, we're running a little over. We'll get right to you. Also, right before we go, shout out West Ham, 5th place in the league, baby. Woo!
But Europa League.
Thank you so much. Stop. What's the word? Stop the counting. Stop the games. West Ham 5th place right now.
Shut it down. Wrap it up.
Shut it down. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. We love you. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
At the buzzer.